Thank you, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It gives me a great pleasure to come here and share with you my observations on China's food industry's development. This is a broad topic. I was given this topic by the organizer. Last year, in June the 15th, there was a meeting organized by the National Committee of Commerce, which asked the national labs all across the country to do an overview analysis of the food industry, and I'm sharing with you our analysis report. And of course, there are limitations here in our research, so the information is for your reference only. Now, the report includes a number of parts. We are going to give you an overview, then we'll talk about the demands, opportunities, and challenges, as well as the future development. In the past 20 to 30 years, the food industry has developed rapidly in China. In 2014, the overall value was as high as 10.89 trillion, and in 2015, the number was 11.6 trillion. The growth rate became slower, but if you look at our industry added value, it accounted for 11.9% of the overall industrial added value, and it accounted for 6% of China's GDP, approximately. And after the reform and opening up, the Chinese food industry has managed to meet the needs and demands of Chinese consumers. And we could see that in terms of quantity and quality, consumers' needs were met in a satisfactory manner. We have also seen rapid technological advancement. And in the interest of time, I would like to be brief in my overview. You are looking at a list of the biggest food companies in China. The problem is we do not have a large number of Chinese brands with international influence. There are a number of companies, including alcohol companies and canned food companies, that have international impact. However, other brands still need to work harder. Generally speaking, the situation is quite optimistic. And food safety is a priority in the country. It is a process to have the highest level of food security, and it develops as a country's economy develops. Now, FDA in the United States, for example, was established because of a number of food problems in the country. You might have seen the novel Slaughterhouse, and the story told in the book was about how U.S. business people would use mice meat to replace pork or chicken, and because of such scandals, the FDA was established. I would like to say that, again, food safety is an ongoing process. Now, if you look at developed countries, food safety is currently also ensured now, and the development of the food industry in the United States was around 2.6, a little bit lower than the manufacturing sector's growth rate. Currently, The general categories are developing at a stable pace, but we are seeing rapid development of new kinds of food, especially healthy food. We are also seeing rapid development of innovation. Now you're looking at the number of patent applications in China, and you can see the country's support to the development of R&D in the sector. The problem with China's food industry is its weaknesses in R&D and companies' lack of investment in innovation R&D. At the same time, we can see that in the future, for China to develop its food industry, we need to see further concentration in the food sector. There are going to be a smaller number of companies with bigger sizes. Now, thanks to globalization and international trade, we're going to see further development in the international food industry, and we believe it is going to be more common that Chinese food is exported to other countries. Now, let's look at demand. Since we're talking about the food industry, it is vital for us to understand the demand of consumers. Now, currently, what are the specific demands and needs of consumers? First, demand on safety. Food safety is one priority of consumers. It is very understandable people want to have safe food. Apart from food safety, we're having the parallel problem of overnutrition and undernutrition. And that is a common problem in many countries. China is a country with uneven development. There are regions that suffer from under or lack of nutrition for its citizens. Now, China's people's lifestyles are changing, and the pace of life is changing as well. This would lead to changes in food industry. If you look at Japan, frozen food growth rate is correlated to GDP growth rate. As the economy is doing better, Japanese consumers would consume more convenient and frozen food. And if you look at regional differences, now Japan, on average, would consume 20 kilograms of frozen food every year, China 10, while in the United States, number is around 60 kilograms. So this shows that as a country's pace of living increases, people would consume more frozen food. As people's income increase and living standard increase, people want to have better tasting food and enjoy a culture of delicious food.
As GDP growth rate slows down and improving living standards, it's not to say that the need for consumption of food and beverages has slowed down, because when the income has reached a certain level, it becomes second nature to look for a better diet. But from this bar chart, according to our statistics, if you look at the angle ratio, with improving living standards, the change to the angle ratio is not significant. Well, that is a challenge to the food industry at large. The challenge is, have we already provided good food at a reasonable cost? But this is about the consumption structure changes as a result of rising living standards from a subsistence style of consumption to a consumption based on health and enjoyment. So from having enough food to eating a better diet. If you look at the food industry in China, it's important for us to put cost first to cost and value combination. It's time for us to say goodbye to competition solely through a low-cost strategy. Now let's look at opportunities. The Chinese government has talked about this national strategy of a one belt and one road. Well, this is a great opportunity for domestic food producers to export to the rest of the world because this is supported and driven by the national strategy. So there is opportunity for food makers in China to follow up. Second, informatization is another driver of our sector growth. Informatization enables further changes to the format of business models. For example, e-commerce. We can all feel strongly the impact of e-commerce on our channels. Big data is another emerging technology which enables us to have first-hand understanding of what is being consumed real time. And we can respond timely to these changing consumption patterns. And big data also enables us to supervise food safety and to make timely assessment of any potential hazards. The network of things is another major driver. It supports transparency of the whole system, and it makes food safety possible. Industrial 4.0, which relies on an array of digital technologies, makes traceability a reality. And gene sequencing is another technology worth mentioning. Now we can do precise analysis. Obesity and diabetes are major chronic diseases in China, and the number of incidences are rising. If you look at the gene sequencing, you know that there might be defects at gene level. So now we can have this area of precise product design and make sure in the future food can help offset this gene defect. Another major problem in China is an aging population. Health food and special diet meals all represent good opportunities in the future. It is said that by 2025, China's going to have over 300 million people in the aging category, 300 million. Next, urbanization. Urbanization is another opportunity for the food and beverages sector because now farmers have been driven to live in condominiums, and that means a changed diet habit as a result. The food industry, which is described by this industrialized kitchens, can better serve this urbanization need of China. Opportunities aside, we also suffer from challenges. First, the supply of materials or raw materials. The dependency ratio on imported materials in China is high. For example, milk, dairy products category, the dependence on imported materials is extremely high. And also cooking oil, edible vegetable oil, the dependency ratio extremely high. The dependency ratio on cooking oil is just as high as China's dependence on crude oil import. Environmental protection pressure, and we can feel this pressure rising. The emissions of wastes is now a big headache to many emitters. In the past, manufacturers did not give enough consideration to how they control the emission of their wastes. Food safety, to a large extent, is caused by environmental pollution, and it has to be addressed as a whole. Pollution to the water body, pollution to air and to soil. All these are major problems for us to address as a whole. And indeed, the strategic need of the Chinese government. I made the point that food safety is caused by different reasons. I do not have time to share with you the detail about this point. And also the supply of labor, the structure of China's labor force is a potential challenge. And many producers in China have adopted this automation strategy. Well, as a conclusion, the need for food and beverages is huge, and it is estimated that the growth rate in this sector will remain strong, while at the same time food safety is becoming ever more important to this particular period. Nutrition and health are top priority when consumers make choices. Many younger generations, especially the young adults or kids, they are allergic to many types of stuff. So allergy-free food is another important area for us to think about. And also high degree of intensification, both in terms of production and also distribution. In the past, food was manufactured by household, and households went to the fresh market to buy whatever they needed. If all the problems could be addressed by the food suppliers at the wet market, then there was no safety issue. But now in the industrialized era, everybody goes to hypermarkets or supermarkets to get whatever they want. So now problems have become globalized, and everybody needs to be part of the solution. So with this high degree of intensification, we need to work on solutions on a global scale. And then talking about equipments of manufacturing, we're moving towards high degree of intelligence, and we're embracing informatization. At the moment, we rely heavily on imported equipments. The equipment makers in China have a lot of opportunities to tap into. Food is about culture. Practitioners in this sector have a major responsibility, that is to industrialize conventional Chinese food. Some say, with high degree of industrialization, food no longer tastes good, but that's wrong. If you did a poor job, then it didn't taste well. But if you think hard about it, you can produce both valuable and also enjoyable food. Last but not least, respond to the national development strategy. Because of a time pressure, I do not have time to share with you the detail, and I stand to be corrected. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Jin, for your sharing of your insights. And you talk about the major trends in China, for example, the pursuit for nutrition, safety, and health, and enjoyment. I talked about several trends in China too. Consumers would take no compromise when they make choices about food and beverages. So there are a lot of similarities between us two. If I may ask our audience whether you have any questions for Professor Jin, and please wait for the microphone to be put in your hand. Thank you. I'm from a science and technology company from Ningbo, from Hubei province, and we are making organic chrysanthemum. We're saying if you use mobile phones every day, you need to consume some chrysanthemum tea. You talk about allergy-free food just now, and we have contacted American experts on our research into this area, allergy-free food. Do you have this project, R&D project in your university? I mean, Jiangnan University. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to do a short commercial. Allergy-free food items. Well, there were different types of allergens causing allergic responses. I think the most important thing is this glucoprotein. The new generations, the kids, the young adults, because of the environment they grew up in, the enzyme system in their bodies differ from our generations. Many related to protein, and they led to allergic responses. So first things first, we need to study allergens contained in food sources. That's step one. Step two, let's take protein as an example. We transform its nature, and so that it becomes allergy-free. And we've done some work in this step two. I'm not saying we did a perfect job, but we are making efforts. You can do some research online, and that can help you answer your questions. Thank you.